carrots. Fake fruit. Fake. Fake. Fake grapefruits. Fake. Liar. You liar.
Well, it's Tuesday, and I told you so. That's right. A new title for Tuesday videos, the Told You So, Told You So, Told You So. We've been telling people for years, have we not? Well, let's get into it, folks. The reason I wanted to use that intro with that SHTF war zone is that looks like Gaza to me. That looks like Fallujah. That looks like every shithole that has been bombed to pieces and burnt out. That's what Palestine looks like. That's what Gaza looks like. That's how those people live on a day-to-day basis. Put in a water system for them, they cut the pipes up and turn them into missiles. It's a dangerous place. It is a terrorist's delight. I mean, if you live to hate Israel, then you would want to live in Gaza. That way you would always have someone to hate and have someone to fight. So we had an interesting news article come out today. Oh, by the way, it is the Prepared Mind channel. Yes, it's Tuesday, told you so. So get your questions down below into the comment section. Mr. Uman will collect them. Questions, statements, comments, thoughts you have. And I want to thank you for coming here live Monday through Friday to talk about what is happening. Everyone who is supporting the Prepared Mind channel on thepreparedmind.club or subscribestar.com. We're very grateful for the help we get to keep this channel going. Every video that we do, it seems like every Monday or Tuesday I get up, YouTube demonetizes our videos. But they still run commercials and they collect the money for them, but they demonetize us. They're doing it to everybody, folks. They're taking the money and running. They're screwing us over, and they want to starve all of us. So your direct support, your guerrilla support helps. Now, back to the war zone as we fight this SHTF guerrilla war. What is happening? What is happening? Well, Colonel Douglas McGregor, retired U.S. Army, was in planning, led a tank attack in the Gulf War, someone who's got some experience. He is alleging, folks, that the special forces of the U.S., special forces could be Marine or Army or Navy, but I'm guessing because of his affiliation and association, it's U.S. Army. Apparently they went into Gaza. And this is what Colonel McGregor said. They, quote, were shot to pieces, took heavy losses, I understand. Sounds like someone leaked to a colonel. Now, if a little nobody like me can get the occasional odd bit of information out of the military, I'm sure a retired colonel is going to get a lot more and a lot quicker. Right? So, interesting that special forces would go in. Now, there's some people that think they're special forces, folks, and then there are the real special forces. But I have to ask some questions about this. I was appraised or apprised or informed that the Israeli military, according to the old dogs, is not ready for what's going on. That they give orders using WhatsApp. That troops in the IDF carry their cell phones, that they don't take care of their weapons properly, and they went into combat without them being fully ready, cleaned, set up. To me, this is just crazy. It's crazy. Now, back to the U.S. Special Forces. How did they take heavy losses? How did they get shot to pieces by a bunch of inbred ding-dongs? How is it possible? Well, there's a number of different ways that it's possible. If there's no air cover to soften the targets, if there's no reconnaissance and they're going into an area blind, if there's no spy birds giving them direct real-time intel, if there's no artillery support to call in, right? You start taking fire from a quadrant, you just have it fucking nuked. And they're not real nukes, but you just have them barrage the shit out of it, artillery. So I have to do this. I have to say, well, then what the hell was the mission? What did they think they were going to do? What the hell were they doing in there in Gaza? I know they're never going to tell us, sadly. We're never going to find out the truth. We won't get the facts. But what were they doing in there without recon, without spy birds, without artillery, and without air cover? What, why, where? What were they doing? What was the mission? What was the objective? I have no clue, folks. All I know is that our military is now being run by a bunch of idiots. I guess they think this is a fucking game on Xbox. I don't know what they're thinking. What I do know is these terrorists are a bunch of shoot from the hip idiots. And they're organized, and there's a lot of them, but they're not super well organized. They're not super well trained, but this is their backyard. This is their playground. And I wonder, what the hell were U.S. forces doing in there, special or not? Why did they put themselves in a position where they could take heavy losses? Unbelievable, folks, what is going on. Whether or not that's a true story, hey, why would the U.S. Army leak that so it could go into the news cycle? Well, for the most part, Americans don't even listen to the news anymore. But there's a lot of what the hells, right? We've been talking about the military becoming a feminized mess. And even if it's just the support groups, is going to affect the frontline performance. We told you so. And speaking of another told you so, Trump's team, Trump's administration, Trump's legal team is continuing to crumble and fall apart. Now, it's interesting that Trump said the other day, after Sidney the Kraken Powell decided she was going to plead guilty, he said, hey, she's not my lawyer. And I'm thinking, well, then who the fuck's lawyer was she? Well, she just happens to be a lawyer that was standing around. Well, now we have this. Jenna Ellis is pleading guilty in the Georgia election case. Why is she pleading guilty? She wants reduced charges. And they're making her write an apology letter. How fucking strange is that? Now, why is Trump's team admitting guilt to a lesser charge? Why aren't they fighting tooth and nail all of these lies? What information does this Georgia idiot prosecutor have? You know, every time one of these people pleads guilty, they're going to play name association with Trump in the coming election. They're going to say, and this was Trump's former administration. Sidney Powell pleads guilty. Jenna Ellis pleads guilty. This person, Paul Manafort, pleads guilty. Right? General Flynn arrested. This person arrested that person. They're just going to play it like it's a fucking rap sheet. Guilt by association. Maybe the Democrats aren't smart enough to see that one. But that's what I see coming. Why would these people give up? Why would Jenna Ellis give up? Or did they sell out? And they're selling out America. I need some fucking answers is what I need. What do you think? What's your idea? Put them in the comments. What are your thoughts as to what's going on? I want to hear what you have to say. Why are these people selling out? Why are they giving up? Why are they turning and pleading guilty? Is this Trump getting everyone to follow him into 2024 just to board a ship that is going to slowly sink in guilt? Is this another cop-out, sellout, just fuck you, America? Well, I think we're getting that. A lot of them, folks. I mean, this is the Republican Party in Washington, D.C. Are you ready for this? The Republicans in Congress have decided to elect Tom Emmer as Speaker, and they did it by secret ballot. Why secret ballot? I believe Tom Emmer used to work for George Soros, massive globalist, anti-American, pro-terror piece of shit. Am I correct, man, that Tom Emmer's the guy that worked for George Soros? I know one of these guys that was up for Speaker was. Anyways, they elected him. And McHenry is gone, right? The assistant speaker or whatever, Speaker pro tem. He's out of the way. Now we get this Tom Emmer guy. How is it that the second most popular Republican in the country, Jim Jordan, can't be elected, isn't good enough for Congress? How the fuck is that possible? Number one popular Republican being Trump. How is this possible, folks? Not that I thought Jim Jordan was going to be able to turn the world around, not with the Republican Rhino team to work with. Can you imagine trying to win a football game and half your team is wearing helmets for the other team? You know, you're running down the field and you throw them the ball and they just run it to the other end zone. Throw them the ball and they drop it. There's a giant hole, an easy touchdown, and they fumble. That's exactly what the Republicans do every single time. Once again, folks, the Republicans shit all over you and me. The voters. The voters. Republicans have put Tom Emmer as Speaker of the House. And they couldn't do it in an open vote so we could see who voted and who didn't. It's a secret ballot. So they all have deniability. Now, in order to get Tom Emmer in, guess what? They need just about every Republican in Congress to vote for him. So if he wins, nobody knows who voted for who. And someone, if Tom Emmer turns out to be a pile of shit, someone can say, well, I voted against him. Well, where's the proof of that? It's a secret ballot. If Tom Emmer does something good, they can be, I voted that guy in. Dang God, dang dog, darn it. It's like, I don't think so. Prove it. You know, asking the Republicans to do something for us. Here we are. This is where we're at in 2023, 1 year out from the election. The Republicans won't face their own base, the constituents, the Republican Party as far as people, not the Republican Party, the Political Action Committee. In fact, quit sending them your money. Don't send those fucking people any money. They don't care. All they're going to do is take your money and couple it with corporate money and let the corporations decide who wins and what they're going to vote for. That's how I feel about the Republicans at this point. I just, there's a cartoon went around today of a man and a woman in bed getting caught, right? And it's Republican and a Democrat screwing each other, right? Having a good time, and we caught them. They're just, it's the same people, folks. It's the same game. The idea of a uniparty, right? Just some are a little louder and some are a little quieter and some are a little more American and some are a lot less American, but they're all part of the same system. You know, the Republicans just shit all over us one more time. Okay, we got this Mr. Emmer in. Where's the impeachment at? Where's the impeachment vote at? We told you so, right? We told you so. Unbelievable. I'm telling you. I want to let you know who these people are, folks. Who these people are that have gotten into our country. Joe Biden and the Republicans and the Democrats are all working together against us at this point. I may as well just come out and fucking say it because no one is sticking up for us. Where is Congress? Why haven't they shut down the border? They have the ability to shut down the border, folks. They have the ability to do it. All they have to do is tell the president, no more money for you. Fuck you. And we're going to stop funding the government until you shut the border down. Close the border to immigration, period. How hard is it? Well, apparently it's really damn hard to do what's right. So, in Skokie, Illinois, which is just outside of Chicago, on Sunday, a Christian, folks, an American Christian, who his name is Peter Christos, of all names to have, he was attacked by a bunch of pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas people. It's funny. Karine Jean-Pierre, idiot, head full of curly fries, spokes geek for Joe Biden, one of the biggest idiots ever. And she's been confronted by some of the media lately, folks, but the mainstream doesn't cover that. They've done a good job of putting her in her place, but she just fucking lies. She's an embarrassment. Biden is an embarrassment, and no one does a damn thing about it. Well, Karine Jean-Pierre said Muslims are in the most danger in this country. Well, here they are assaulting more Americans, more people. Right? So Peter Christos and his co-worker, I guess, violently attacked. And what were they doing? What did they do that was so offensive? Well, they were trying to escort an elderly Jewish couple to a pro-Israel event. You see, they don't respect free speech. They don't respect our law. They don't respect us. They don't respect our culture. Nothing. This is what Peter said. He says, I was punched repeatedly, kicked in the head, and hit with a flagpole. I'll tell you what, I'm 280 pounds right now. I've been putting on a little bit of meat. Try that shit with me. Like two of these scrawny little fucks, these little 140-pound Palestinians, takes two of them to equal one of me. Why don't they come after me? Well, a group of them will come after a couple of old people and some nice pacifist Christians. Telling you what, it don't pay to be a pacifist, folks. Now, while this guy was getting his ass beat, a police officer finally decided to do something. And no one was arrested, folks. There's no reports of arrests over this by the Skokie police. Well, finally, I guess they made one arrest, right? Because, get this, a pro-Palestinian fired a gun in the air during a argument, a confrontation across the street from the pro-Israel event. In other words, it wasn't until shots were fired that the police finally decided to do something. They can assault people and beat the fight. They don't care. Folks, the police don't want to get into this. You and I are going to have to deal with this. That's my upshot on this. That's my upshot, is the police are not going to help us at the local level, at the state level. The federal government is not going to help us. They've got the fucking border wide open. And now they're telling us, hey, pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah, or just downright fucking terrorists coming over the border now. Sorry about that. Right? Unbelievable. And not only are doing that, we have pro-Hamas radicals within our federal government. Well, one was discovered. Uh-oh. What did they do? Oh, you're going to love this, folks. I hope you've got something to say. I hope you've got some questions down below, because we have a lot to talk about as far as being Americans, being preppers, being decent, moral people. It's incredible, folks. Absolutely fucking incredible. This nice lady named Nejwa Ali. She works for the Department of Homeland Security in Washington, D.C. How about that? Yeah, she is a pro-Hamas radical. She loves what they did. She loves what they did. I think she posted a picture of a Palestinian, paragliding in or hang gliding in with a machine gun in his hand. Unbelievable. She was put on leave. She wasn't fired. She was put on leave, meaning, well, she got time off with pay because her extremist pro-Hamas and anti-Israel social media posts ended up getting spread around the internet, widely circulated. She's been working for the Department of Homeland Security as a fucking terrorist supporter, folks. And not only that, she works as a public affairs officer for the Palestinian delegation to the United States. What is the Palestinian delegation? That's the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, a terror organization. It's just what's wrong with these people, right? Listen to this. This came from the adjudication officer. Quote, though Ali's job at DHS included vetting people to make sure they were not a threat to the country before letting them in, it's not clear that anyone from the agency vetted her. That her primary allegiance was to the Palestinians, not to the United States, was evident from her social media profiles, where she posts as Palestine mi amor, meaning I love Palestine. There it is. There's your federal government right there, hiring pro-terrorist, wannabe terrorists, and saying, guess what? Your job is to decide who gets to come into this country or not. We want you to be very sure not to let in the evil, bad people. Unfucking believable, folks. Unbelievable. And she's so stupid that other than just doing her job and letting all the terrorists in she could, take note, get your rifles out, keep them clean, keep them loaded. At some point, folks, they're going to get stupid. She couldn't just do her job. She had to let in as many terrorists as she could, I'm sure, as well as shoot her fucking lips off and talk trash. She was repeatedly posting pictures, according to the Daily Wire, of Hamas terrorists parachuting in with guns and writing, fuck Israel, and any Jew who supports Israel. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. If you see anyone coming in with machine guns on parachutes, they're not your buddy. That's not how this works. But don't worry, folks. At some point, there's and this came up on Sunday. I think it was Darcy T. There will be a false flag. The government, if the government can keep an eye on every right-wing extremist who's concerned about his kid being molested in school, his tax dollars being wasted, or his country being invaded, that's who they consider a terrorist in this country, the federal government. I'm sure they have the ability to keep track of all these Palestinian terror groups. I'm not saying that they're going to arrest them because they don't want to do anything like that. Oh, no. But they're going to find, and they may encourage them. They may even give them arms and weapons. The federal government, hell, they gave guns to drug cartels in Mexico. What makes you think they wouldn't give guns to terrorists in this country so they could start a war between these people, these un-American freaks that are here, and the good people of the United States of America, and make us fight, not just for freedom, but for our very lives from a bunch of fucking terrorists? And now the politicians are going to do their grandstanding. Senator Josh Hawley, he's a Republican from Missouri. He wrote a letter to DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas asking what cases Ali has reviewed, It doesn't matter. Mayorkas should resign in disgrace. This is one more thing. He should be impeached again over this. Everyone in the Department of Homeland Security should be looked at by a neutral, pro-American organization and get rid of all of these fucking people, folks. The government is out of control. The government is not being controlled by anyone other than a bunch of anti-American, American-hating, piece of shit Democrats and rhino Republicans. I don't even know how many good Republicans there are anymore. Well, we're at 26 minutes. Shit. I didn't think I was going that long. Hey, folks, a pissed off American confronted Hillary Clinton. They had an exchange, a heated exchange. And the guy that confronted her accused her of being a hypocrite, accused her of hypocrisy because she didn't call out Joe Biden for pushing us into World War III. Now, why would anyone expect Hillary to call Joe Biden out and call him a warmonger? So, in response to being called out for not calling out Biden as a warmonger and more, this is what Clinton said. I'm sorry, this is not the way to have a conversation. And here's where my response, I wouldn't have let off with this World War III thing. I would have let off with a little more. But this guy let off with that. And here's what I would say to Hillary. I think I would have said something like, well, Hillary, what difference does it make now? Remember that line you used after the Benghazi debacle? Look at the shit show that we're in as a country. Do you think it makes a fucking difference now? You dried up old bitch. And I would continue. I'd say, well, you say that that's not the way to have a conversation. Do you think calling Americans who pay their taxes and obey the law, you think they're a basket of deplorables still? Is that how you think of us? You shrewd, old, nasty, America-hating bitch. Okay, Hillary, you think that we should all go to re-education camps to get our minds right? Are you, Hillary, going to pick up a badge and a gun and go around and round people up? Or are you going to sit behind a very large fence, a wall, if you will, and make other people do your dirty work for you, you nasty bitch? If you want people to go to concentration camps, you pick up a rifle, you go around and you try arresting people and see how they respond to you. She is one of the most anti-American pieces of crap ever to walk the face of the earth. And she wants to say, I'm sorry. This is not the way to have a conversation. After all the shit she has said, folks, I would have said something like this. Hey, Hillary, how's your love child that you had with Webb Hubble doing? Chelsea Clinton doesn't look a thing like Bill. In fact, where is Bill? How many prostitutes is he with today? Hey, Hillary, you've been drinking any cocktails lately? Just what an ugly human being. Top to bottom, all the way from skin to the bone, Hillary Clinton is pure evil, a cackling bitch. And I'm glad this guy confronted her, but he could have gone a lot more places. Basket of deplorables. Oh, we need re-education camps, do we? Why not just call them concentration camps, Hillary? Hillary, would you have any problem with people being killed if they refused to go to your re-education camps and refused the indoctrination and were able to withstand the torture and the drugs that you would be forcing on them? Hey, Hillary, why didn't you do a re-education on everyone who's been locked away in the fetid, unsanitary cesspool of a bunch of jail cells that you held the January 6th prisoners in, huh? There's so many good questions that could have been asked. And by the way, one more thing. Speaking of George Soros, whose spokesman is now the Speaker of the House. How interesting is that? How interesting is that? Well, he's decided that he, George Soros, is going to close a shit pile of his offices. He's cutting his worldwide staff by 40%. Damage done to the world. Now he's going to start laying people off, and he's going to hide and sit back and watch. All the pieces are in place, folks. Essentially, that's what he's saying. All the pieces are in place. He can just sit back and watch. Folks, it's now time for the inner circle on this Tuesday. Told you so. Told you so. Look what they're doing to us. Not that I don't want to have hope. Not that I don't think America deserves better. We do. But we're getting the government that everyone voted for and allowed. And this is how empires crash. Okay, every day, Monday through Friday, when I come on, it's your chance to ask questions live. It's kind of like Sunday Night Live, but there's one difference. It's just premium members Monday through Friday. How do you become a premium member? You go to the preparedmind.club and you sign up. It's only $2 a month. Or you can go to subscribestar.com and sign up at the Prepared Mind. It's only $2 a month. And you get access sent to you. So every day, Monday through Friday, you can show up and hang out live. Or you can just watch it at your leisure. And the next day it goes out to YouTube. So you get the news, the opinions, the satire fresh. You're ahead of the gang, folks. You're ahead of the crowd every day. The things we talk about right now live, tomorrow and the next day, the rest of the world will be talking about. Why is that? Because they're behind the curve. They're slow. They're not paying attention. It has to become mainstream media news. We pick up news articles and pieces from around the world before everyone else runs with it. Now, we do try and vet the information to make sure it's accurate, unlike the New York Times. Right now, we did talk about the so-called hospital bombing before it was proven to be fake, but we didn't jump to the hoops and conclusions. We just talked about it. Hey, this bombing happened. Do you think it was really Israel that did that? Do you think it's as bad as they say? 500 exactly. That's an interesting number, right? Those are some of the told you so points we brought up. It certainly doesn't smell right. Why would Israel do that while the whole world is watching, waiting to see if they should condemn them? Oh, it's going to get nasty and stupid. Okay, Mr. Human, it is time to get into it. And we're going to start with something from Charles Gentry. He says, I was educated once. Took me years to get over it. I knew it. It's a Mark Twain quote. Interesting, folks. Mark Twain lived in the 1800s. At the time, he was a contemporary satirist, humorist. He wrote a lot of things, folks. He used philosophy to point out the failures in government, in leadership, in politicians, in life, etc. Not because he was an incurable skeptic or pessimist, but rather he did back then what we try and do now. And that's point to what's happening and bring it into discussion and say, you know, shouldn't we be doing better? I really think we should. We should be doing a lot better. Anyways, Charles, thank you for that great quote from Mr. Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens. Mr. Uman, where do we want to roll next? Hey, here we are. I was wondering if this was going to come up from Mr. Uman. Sweden, folks, the country of Sweden. They're saying they're going to deport all the migrants that have gone there that are making less than 2,300 euros a month. Now, it was 1,100 euros a month, but they increased it to 2,300 euros, and soon they're going to increase it to 3,000 euros. That'll be 30% of the migrants in the country not able to make the minimum wage requirement in order to stay. Sweden, folks, also wants to cut off welfare to non-natives. I find this fascinating. Uman continues, don't really need to build a wall to keep the majority away if you take the incentives to come here in the first place. Interesting. So Sweden had this open border policy, and they were bringing in all of these immigrants. Why? Why the fuck would they do that in the first place? Supposedly, I don't get it. There's no reason. Sweden is full of intelligent people who knew how to obey the law, work hard. They were educated. It is a socialist country, by the way. It has a lot of socialist, shall we say, programs. What were they short? Were they short of workforce people? Why would they want to bring in third world scum? And then what made them think in Sweden that bringing in third world migrants was going to make their country better? That these migrants would come in and that they would somehow create jobs that created a lot of wealth that would pay them really well. They came into the country, they refused to work, and they went on welfare. They refused to assimilate to the culture. They refused to learn the language. They decided they would bring in their radical, violent religion and start raping women. Sweden has been putting up with this shit for well over a decade now. And they're just now deciding they're going to do something about it. Well, good for Sweden. I say you go through with a big motherfucking broom and you push those people right into the North Sea and tell them to swim back to wherever the hell it was they came from. I don't give a shit. These people are human fucking debris, folks. Socialists are worthless. Terrorists are worthless. I've had it. I'm tired of trying to be nice. Say it in a nice way. Okay, yeah, don't sweep them into the sea because they would die and freeze to death. I know. How about if you put them on a fucking boat and go drop them in Tripoli or Libya or Egypt, or send them back to Palestine? Put them on a boat and sail them around the Horn of Africa. And if any of them live that long, then you can dump them in Somalia. Send them to Tunisia. I know, send them back to Saudi Arabia or the UAE. These people are trash, folks. If they were such good, hardworking, industrious, producing people, why would they want to leave the country of their original origin, right? Their origin, their people, their culture. Why would they want to leave that if it's so good and prosperous and they're such a high quality person? Well, they're not. They're really not. Anyways, Mr. Uman, that's a great topic. And let's see, Uman responded to me, right? I ask a lot of questions today, like, what the hell? He says, wow, you know, because they would be so grateful, the immigrants, for being given such an awesome opportunity in the country of Sweden, and they would start coming up there with incredible innovations and contribute to Swedish society and increase the I don't know, I guess bringing in a bunch of immigrants is going to increase the gross domestic product. The tax base is going to expand, creating more revenue for the government to spend on more stupid government programs. No, all these people have done is come up and suck up the welfare money, suck up the social services, and rape all the women they can to get away with it. And I will not back down from that statement. Every chance they get, those pieces of shit rape Swedish, Norwegian, Finnish, Dutch, English, Scotch, Irish, Welsh, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Austrian, Czech, Slovakian, Macedonian, Romanian, Hungarian, Polish, Ukrainian, Latvian, Estonian. That's all they want to do is rape women. Did I mention Luxembourgian? I don't even, Luxembourgers. I paid attention in geography once. Oh, and Swiss too. Okay, Mr. Uman, thank you, sir. Name redacted says, not fucking ready. That's not good. I say you should get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Have your plan together. Understand who your enemy is. Remember how I said, hey, told you so, your world, 10-mile radius around it. That's the distance someone can walk in one day. Who is in that world around you? That is who the problem's going to be. It's not going to be Joe Biden. It won't be Obama. It's not going to be Xi Jinping or Putin. Your problem is going to be the people who live around you. Who is there? Illegal immigrants? Worthless scumbags? College kids? Ghetto mongers? Who's around you? Find out so that you can get ready. Name redacted says, not fucking ready. When we were in high school, we were given Israel enough money to give each citizen $1 million a year. It's never stopped, and they are a militarized country that builds arms. Yeah, they have a military industrial complex in Israel. Yes, they do. And they're not fucking ready. That's correct. You want to know why? Because they're incompetent. Years ago, I watched a colonel testifying before parliament in Israel. And he was saying the things that they were doing to women in the IDF, the Israeli military, they were not doing well. That the women could not do what the men can do. They weren't capable of it. They were asking too much of women physically, and it was damaging them permanently. It wasn't right. There is a difference between genders. Now, if there's anyone that has fucking learned that now, it is the women in America. Sure, you can do it for yourself. Sure, you can. It's going to take you a lot longer. It's not going to be as easy. It won't be as achievable. Physical. I'm talking about physical prowess. Right? I can stand up to any man. No, you can't. Not any man. Probably some, but not any. Folks, what we've seen with Leah Thomas, transgender swimmer, who has not cut off his penis or balls, who likes to wag his fucking weenie at girls in the locker room, claims to be a girl, so he can swim against girls. He was ranked like 540th swimmer in America. 540 swimmers. He's like one of the fucking worst ever. And he goes and he swims against women and he beats them, all of them, badly. I know Riley Gaines has really tried swimming against them. It just goes to show you a less than average male athlete dominates women's sports. Do you think it's any fucking different in the military? That's why women should not be in combat, frontline combat, period. Not only will men white knight up, but they're just not in the physical strength world to do that job. So this Israeli military guy, this was like 10 years ago I saw this video. I watched this guy testifying. Got in a fight with an argument, a dispute, a debate with a female in their parliament who wanted to argue the point, argue the case. So they have been dumbing down the military, weakening it, period, over in Israel. And now they're going to face the facts. Even though, yes, the United States has given Israel a shit pile of money and a shit pile of weapons, and they make their own weapons, they're not going to be ready for this fight against the Muslim world that hates their fucking guts and wants to kill them and murder them and their children and their parents and their spouses, everybody. Folks, when they say they want to wipe them off the face of the earth, do you think that's just a fucking expression? Do you think they're being cute? That they're grossly exaggerating? Or do you think that they're grossly telling the truth? Being honest. I think they're being honest when they say they want to wipe Israel off the face of the earth and kill every Jew. Yes, that's what Hamas wants. Hezbollah wants. Iran wants. Every Muslim jihadi out there wants that. They want it. Now, is it earned? They seem to think so. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the people who want to kill them think. Now I took to you and I say to you, are you prepared? Are you a good person? It doesn't matter what you think. You thinking you are a good person, so therefore you're going to be safe in an SHTF environment, is incorrect. Because it doesn't matter what you think of you. What you think of you will have nothing to do with how others on the outside look back towards you. That's right. You, 10-mile radius. People inside that are going to look at you based on their own perception and their perspective, and they're going to hate your fucking guts. One side or the other, folks. You got to pick a side. You're going to be a freedom-loving American, pick that side. Everyone who hates America is going to look at you like the enemy, and they're going to want to kill you. And you're like, but I'm a good person. I haven't done anything wrong. I love America. I respect other people's rights, their liberties, their freedoms. And those people that hate you are going to look at you and go, we don't give a fuck. We want to kill you. That is the Mad Max scenario that could develop very quickly. And it has developed very quickly. A couple of Democrats, pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas Democrats, sent out a quick little tweet, a little WhatsApp message. And guess what? They're going to storm a courthouse. They're going to storm City Hall. They're going to storm a police station. They're going to storm a shopping mall, a grocery store. They'll do a flash mob attack. You think they're not prepared to do that? You think they haven't practiced enough? Believe what you want. I see evidence out there that it's very possible. Look what's happening around the world, folks. People are protesting, demanding that they be allowed to kill every Jew. That's what every pro-Palestinian parade, protest is about. Is about demanding that everyone accept their desire to murder every single Jew on the planet and destroy and wipe the nation of Israel out forever. What a strange conversation to have. Absolutely fucking strange, you man, to sit here and use these words. To use the words is just bizarre. That so much of the world would want that, to wipe a nation out. Folks, after they wipe out Israel, who are they going to wipe out next? Greece, Portugal, Spain, Italy, England, Sweden, of course, America and Canada. The fucking Canadians, they're so polite. How many of them think that, well, if we're just nice to these Palestinians, they won't do anything wrong here? There you go. There you go, using your perception and projecting it onto other people. You may be a nice, good, honest, decent, moral person, and you project that. Well, they should be thinking the same way. They're looking at you, folks, with daggers in their eyes. Charles Gentry steps up and he says they can't fix their country. So they're going to break everyone else's so everything is even, all busted up. That's the model now, that they're destroying every country in Europe, in America, North America, in Australia, Japan. They're going to destroy every economy everywhere around the world, and we're going to be equally fucking miserable. Equally miserable. Now, there's going to be areas of wealth. That is not going to change because they cannot destroy every industry. The rich people need the shit they need. And by rich, I mean the 1% or greater in wealth. The super billionaires, folks, there's more than just 5 or 6. The super mega corporations need farms. They need mines. They need production facilities. They need people to support those production facilities with food, raw materials, workers, and the workers need to be able to live. So they need food, they need cars, they need boats, they need buses, they need trains, they need what they need. They can't destroy the entire world, but they can break it down to where everyone is fucking miserable. And that's what they're doing. There's always going to be areas of wealth, though, where people seem to do a little better. I'm sure that that's where they're going to send these fucking Palestinians and other America haters to try and go in and break apart everything. Just like busing ghetto kids out to suburbia. I was talking to a young person the other day, significantly younger than me, how they had ghetto scum sent to their school, and how the ghetto scum absolutely destroyed the school because they're ghetto scum and they don't give a shit about anyone else. This is the world we're living in. Thanks, Hillary Clinton. All right, Mr. Uman, where are we going to go next? And it is Chin Music. Before we get to Chin Music's comment, he sent me a meme the other day, and it has to do with Sun Tzu. So it's a photoshopped image of some Chinese philosopher. I'm guessing it was probably Confucius or somebody that's supposed to represent Sun Tzu. And it has a, it's quite funny. It's rather than attack your enemy, surprise him by retreating and leaving all your equipment behind. That's not Sun Tzu, that's Sun Millie. General Millie Vanilli, yeah. Surprise your enemy by retreating and leave all your equipment there. That's not how to win a war, right? That's not the art of war. That's how to confuse your enemy. And Chin Music wrote, this is how we do it now. You know, we don't use intelligent stuff. Anyways, Chin Music says today, and thank you for that, man. That was fucking funny. It says Daily Wire is reporting Germany just stopped an attack by ISIS at a Jewish event. Daily Wire is reporting that Germany just stopped an attack by ISIS at a Jewish event. In Germany, ISIS, IS, is the Islamic State. Islamic State is ISIS. ISIS is the Islamic State. It is a theocratic, Muslim, hate-filled organization that wants theocratic rule. They want jihad to be the daily course. They want to have their court system in place, folks. They want to attack Jews and attack anyone that they disagree with. They want to murder people and they want to rape people. ISIS, IS is the same as Al-Qaeda. It's the same as Hamas. It's the same as Hezbollah. It is a tool that was created by the CIA that thinks it is separate and distinct, but it has been manipulated by them. It has been funded by them. It has been trained by them. And there are other organizations that are involved in this as well. You create an organization full of hate, and then you turn it loose on your enemies. Would you say the CIA is friends with you and me, Joe Americans? Do you think the CIA gives a shit about this country? Then why did they kill JFK? Do you even know who the CIA is? The Central Intelligence Agency? Do we have an idea or a fucking clue what it is they do anymore? Well, John Brennan, former head of the CIA, is a fucking communist. And he's a Muslim convert. Those two things right there ought to get him a big fat deportation ticket and send his ass over to Somalia. Hey, if that's what you want, get the fuck out of here. But again, a CIA head, not just a section chief, that fucking head of the CIA, the big shot, is a communist and a Muslim convert. So when I say that the CIA trained and created these terror groups, they did it for a reason, folks, is to create conflict and use these groups to overthrow governments. You know, the same way Hillary wants to do it, or a similar way Hillary wants to do it with, well, you know, controlling elections. She just said it, or actually from 2006 when she said they need to screw over the Palestinians and make sure the right people get elected there. Election interference, electioneering, election rigging, voter fraud in Palestine, because, well, you can't have these terror organizations get out of control. You need to control them by controlling their elections to make sure the right terrorists get in there who can be influenced and continue to be influenced by none other than the United States government through the CIA. What has the CIA done that has helped us? What has the CIA done that has helped you? How has the CIA helped America? Why isn't the CIA offed Hillary for getting some of their agents killed? What a fucking world. They're dispensable, right? They're just CIA agents. Fuck it. They can go get some more. All right, man. What the hell was that about Confucius? Confucius say, I didn't say all that shit. Confucius said a lot. I bet he could have said everything. I mean, look how much shit I get to say every day. Confucius just had to write that shit down. Uman says, I also saw that they were going to start including the LGBTers and singles in the infertility statistics today. The new definition is, quote, need for medical intervention, including but not limited to the use of donor gametes or donor embryos in order to achieve a successful pregnancy, either as an individual or with a partner. All right, man, you got to come on the screen, man. What the heck is this all about? What the heck is this all about?
I have no idea.
Well, go back to the first statement there that you typed.
All right.
Who is going to start including LGBTers?
In the government statistics for infertility, they're going to start including the LGBTers and the singles in the infertility statistics.
Is it because lesbians can't get each other pregnant and guys can't get each other pregnant?
Yeah, so and incels and everything else, whatever. But it seems to me like they're trying to set up what has already gone past the whole, we're below the population replacement rate or something. Look at these infertility statistics.
Okay, that's where I thought you were going. They tried saying that was why they needed to bring in all those third world pieces of shit into Europe.
Yep.
Oh, we're not replacing our population. I've got a fucking idea. Quit taxing the people so they can afford to have children.
Exactly. They can afford a house to raise those children in, and
they can afford to feed
school to send them to. Yeah.
How about having schools that people, I know a bunch of people who, man, young folks, they're like, you know what? I'm not going to have a kid, not in this fucking world. The government has jacked it up so much. It's like, I'm not going to have a kid and expose them to this shit.
Yeah. And I don't have time to homeschool them myself and do all the right things because I'm barely scraping by as it is. Yeah, I get it.
So then they bring in all these illegals. They give them fucking welfare. They bring all their shit. I don't even want to call it culture and tradition, right? Murder and rape is not culture and tradition. Sorry, Islam. It's just not. It's not. Now, again, I know some cool Islamic people. But these fuckers they're bringing in are not the hardworking guys that I see and know.
Period. Oh, absolutely not.
They're not. I don't want to bring in a bunch of fucked up any religion from any country. You know.
Yeah, or even the worst that the countries have to send you. You know, I mean, down in South America, they're emptying out their prisons, and they're sending them all up here.
Yeah, they're emptying their prisons and shipping them to our border. All these MS-13 drug lord fuckers. And then India, the people they're sending over from India, right? And we're seeing the names. You got to know the names, right? Ravish Swami. Okay, we can recognize them. They look like they're from the country of India or Pakistan, and they hate America too. Why do we get only the America haters sent here?
Well, you see, those are the ones that get here, but the ones from the wealthier families that send their kids here to be educated, to become engineers and all that stuff,
they go back.
You got to jump through all kinds of hoops to get a work visa or a green card or anything like that. And we end up sending them back. But all these other people that come over here with nothing to offer, they're all given the green cards and they're given the work visas and the whatnot.
Then they run for local office.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, welcome Ilhan Omar. We needed someone from Somalia to represent people in the United States. That made not a fucking joke.
Yeah.
And she's an ugly little bitch too. Tell you what, I have a funny feeling a lot of Palestinian terrorists wouldn't treat her very well if they ever met her.
No, I don't think so.
I think they would consider her, look at her in a very negative fashion for what she's done here in America. I mean, the whole thing's crazy. It's nuts too, man. I think we had a great show today.
Yep.
Hopefully people wake the fuck up. You know, we told you so. We've been saying it, and now it's here.
I got one funny comment from Chin before we close out, though.
All right, let's do that. Mr. Chin, what do we got? Since when does shots fired get a response from cops in Chicago? That's funny, right? Normally it means wait another 10 minutes, finish your donut and coffee, and then go take a report. But, you know, I've said for years, I don't want to be a fucking cop. Thanks, Chin Music,
no.
man. Right? Yeah, they decided that if they didn't do something at that point, that there was going to be probably some mass fucking murder going on.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they want the riots to get to a certain level and just, I guess, exist.
As long as it stays with sticks and stones and, you know, mace and bear spray, I guess that's all right.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking of getting some of those pepper ball guns from Amazon. You can buy those on Amazon. You can't buy a trigger or a hammer or a bolt or a firing pin. You can't get a legitimate gun piece, definitely not a magazine or ammunition or any ammunition components, but you can get a pepper ball gun.
And a flamethrower.
A fucking flamethrower, bear spray, flamethrower. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, and I mean, there's people out there with criminal records. They used to work for Trump. They're going to need to be able to get guns. My recommendation is get one of those high-powered air rifles that shoots a .357 or .45 caliber slug.
You can get them you can get them over 50 cal nowadays. It's crazy.
That's an accurate slingshot. That's how I see it.
Yep.
All right, man. It is Taco Tuesday, but this is a Tuesday Told You So. Let's
Yep.
check out Mr. Uman.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for coming out to play.
Yes, sir.